Hey everybody, welcome to the garden. I hope you're having a great day. Shout out to the lemon and lime lovers and everybody in between. So today, this video is the recap of the third day trading scalping session we had on the Discord. So in case you're not aware, we are doing a 2-week free trial for a new service that's coming to the Discord, the day trading scalping service. Okay, so during this 2 weeks, you can hop into the trade talk room, follow the trades with me, talk with the other members that are in the room. It is completely free for these 2 weeks. I give you a rundown on the trades I'm taking, what I'm thinking in real time, and if you want to follow the trades, you'll see my live stream in real time as well. I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. One, I want to introduce the service to the group. I also want to show you exactly what you will be buying if you do decide to adopt the service and pay for it once it goes behind a price wall. And I also want to share the setup I'm using, which is completely free. All you need is a TradingView account. That way, if you don't want to pay for the service, you can actually trade the same way I do if you find that you like it. Okay, so it's totally up to you. All I ask is if you do want to join the room, please join the room within these 2 weeks. You're going to get to talk to me. You'll be able to meet a bunch of cool people on the Discord. We have a lot of funny guys. And you'll also get the opportunity to possibly trade with me if you feel like the trades look good. Okay? I also started a small Bybit account, a $500 account, since I started the trial. And over 3 days, including today, we've gotten it up to $590, so we're up $90. Today we made about 20 bucks, and we took 3 trades. We had 1 loser, 2 winners. So this video I'm gonna go over specifically those trades, and I'll go over exactly why I took them, what my thinking was, and a couple mistakes I actually made on that last trade. Right? Okay. So starting off with the first trade, let's start off the 5-minute. The first trade was great. The first trade, actually, we got into it right when we started in the morning. So I saw this bearish engulfing candle on the 5-minute, and it was a great entry, I thought, to go short, and so I took it. I thankfully was right, and we immediately just started trending down, right? We immediately started trending down. We had very little drawdown on the trade, so it was a very quick trade that had very little risk. I actually went down to the 1-minute time frame to then follow the trend. So my idea was I'm going to follow the trend from where we got in all the way down until this line that I've drawn here gets broken through, or at least gets challenged in a way where it's likely going to get broken through. And as we got to this horizontal support line, which is a 1-hour pivot zone, price reversed, and boom, started actually showing signs of breaking out. So we closed right around this area here. So we banked in a nice bit of profit. A very easy trade to start off with. And usually after a trade like that, I make it a note to be very cautious going forward, not to over trade, because it sucks losing money, and if you're going to lose money, you want to lose profit, but there is a cost to that. And I find mentally, if you give back all your gains for the day, it can put a lot of pressure on you to make the gains back, which then leads to more mistakes. So you want to avoid that. So over the years, I've learned to be very conservative when I've had a very good trade, especially in the very beginning of a trading session. That's usually when it's the most dangerous. So after that win, that short win, we watched that price popped up, but then immediately started getting sold off into, and actually broke under that 1-hour pivot. And now finally, I was looking for an opportunity to go long or go short, just something. I was starting to get that inkling of possibly going long right around here, and this actually ended up being a loss. So the reason why I decided to go long here wasn't just because I saw that, hey, the 1-hour pivot zone was starting to get broken through. I was actually looking at the 5-minute chart and the 15-minute chart, and at that time the 15-minute candle had just closed or was about to close, and it was very, very bullish looking. So right around here, the 15-minute candle closed, and then it bullish engulfed its previous candle. It looked very good for a further move to the upside, and the 5-minute was also showing continuation to the upside. So I waited for this hourly pivot to get broken on the 1-minute. Took the long here, and at first it was looking great. We were showing signs of continuation like the higher time frames were showing, and I was telling the room, look for 41 41.55 being a level of where we will probably see significant resistance, and then if that gets broken through, look for this high pivot at 41.22, and then 41.25 would be another level of major resistance. And unfortunately, Bitcoin started rolling over right around here, so we actually didn't get to that point, and it actually ended up stopping us out. So we had a minor loss that ate a little bit of our profits from this first trade. But yeah, it was a tough break. It was a tough break because the probabilities were really well on our side. But you know, sometimes the markets are gonna, you know, make their move whether you like it or not, right? So we had to take that loss. And then we started falling back into a range that I really didn't like. This was one of the reasons that I also wanted to go long, because I felt that there was a lot of momentum to keep Solana out of this 5-minute range. So let me show you that. So this area here, right here, so this bundle of price action here, I felt that, you know, as price was getting into it, that it was going to likely push out of it as soon as it could. So if the bulls were going to be in control, they would want to avoid trading within this zone as much as possible. Unfortunately, that's not what happened. So as you can see in the 5-minute, you know, price spikes up higher and then came back down and started trading pretty much within that zone. And that's where, you know, I started having a lot of hesitation and taking any position. So this wick down here on the 1 minute, 40.645 and 40.66. So this wick was actually a fairly decent level of support in the range. There is a lower level of the actual bottom of the range that goes a little bit further down. That's one of the reasons why I didn't take this trade, because I felt, well, we might just revisit the very bottom of the range. So if I was going to go long, that's where I would want to do it, right? So obviously it wicked up higher and started moving up pretty decisively. It had a nice surge back into that 1 hour pivot. And as this was happening, I started watching the 15-minute very closely, because the 15-minute was just about to close. And at first it was showing a very bullish candle, but as we got into the close of that candle, this candle happened right here, which actually pushed the 15-minute into a what I would call a bearish candle. It looked more like bearish continuation. So I ended up taking a short here. Okay, so I took a short right at the close of this candle. The 15-minute confirmed the bearish candle. The 5-minute was also showing some continuation of downside. So when this sell-off happened, okay, I felt it was very likely we were going to come down and take this pivot. But what ended up happening was we actually had a rise that almost threatened our position. Okay, so we ended up putting our stop loss prior to this rise right above this level. The reason why we did this is because I started noticing that we were actually in this descending structure right here. Okay, at first I wasn't sure if it was a descending structure, to be honest. At first I was thinking maybe it's a broadening structure, because if you go from these pivots right here to here, oops, sorry about that. If you go from this pivot here at 40.915 to 40.730, it looks almost like a broadening, like a microphone structure or a broadening wedge. So I wasn't sure if that was what was being built, but I was pretty confident that this descending trend line was viable, and this denial here proved it. So I put my stop loss right above here, right about at 41.06, and price, as you can see, stopped right there. This is where I made my first mistake. So as this was forming and I saw this bearish candle right here, what came into my mind was to add on to the short. However, I did not. I spent the next minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes contemplating adding on to my short, and the reasoning why I didn't add onto my short was because this trade here affected me mentally. Okay, so when I saw that we failed this, breaking this level, and seeing the trade fall and fail because we get stopped out, ended up making me second guess if I had, you know, built out the potential structure correctly. Okay, so if you've been in the Discord for a long time, or at least if you've known me before I've built this Discord, then you know I've been trading for many years, and profitably for most of those years. And I want to share this because no matter how much you've been trading, these sort of emotions can still affect you. All right, and this was a mistake. I should have added to the short here. Even though we made money on this trade, it would have brought up our average well around towards the hourly pivot, and we would have been able to bank in more profit. But I was affected by a trade that failed in the past. So I should have been able to recognize that. And if it lasted 1 minute longer, I believe I was about to add on to the short, but I took too long to contemplate. So that was my first mistake on this trade. Okay. And it's very important that if you do make these mistakes, it's not the end of the world. You do recognize them, and this is my way of recognizing it by sharing it with you and showing you that, hey, this is common, and it's gonna keep happening to you no matter how much you trade. The only thing that changes from when you are a novice trader to when you're an experienced trader is that you can recognize it and then learn from it and accept it. When you're a novice trader, you just get angry at it. You don't want to get angry at it. It's part of being a human. You do get better at this stuff, at managing your emotions, but you never ever kill them. All right, and honestly, you shouldn't. Anyone who tells you to kill your emotions, they're a bad person. You want to have a human emotions. You want to have a good life, but you do want to be able to manage them, and that's what this is all about. Okay. So pretty much we surged up, it respected this level, and boom, we started having that sell-off that I was looking at. And here's my second mistake. Though this is a mistake in hindsight, I would not admit this to be a mistake in real time. So I was originally targeting exactly 40.66, because as I mentioned, this is an actual level of support in the range. I was originally targeting that level, but then I lowered the target. I didn't put the TP on the books ever, so I didn't put the take profit on the books ever. But I was going to probably take there originally until I started seeing this candle here. So this candle here showed signs that it was a continuation candle, and then this candle confirmed it. So I was very confident that we would see the bottom of the range. And guess what we're doing right now? We're seeing the bottom of the range. So I ended up being right, unfortunately, a little too late. So as you're seeing in real time, we're at the bottom of that range that I was originally targeting. But it didn't get there during the trade that our last trade here. So it got to the first target level that I was looking at. So as I saw this reversing, I ended up closing the trade right around here. So we left some money on the table, maybe due to greed, but honestly, I would say it was more, I misread how strong the downtrend was on the 1 minute, and I probably didn't put enough stock into the 5 and 15 minutes showing reversal signs. So that's where I would say the mistake was. I do not believe it was a mistake for me to target the bottom of the range. Okay, it would have been a huge mistake if I left the trade open. Obviously, in hindsight, we would have got stopped out, but I would have just given way too much. But in this way, at least we banked in a good amount for the amount we traded with, and we closed the trade in a way where I was comfortable. Okay, so that's all I want to go over today. Just wanted to do a quick dive into the trades I took, and I'm just taking 3, and I feel like they were decent trades. It was a decent day. We spent around 2 hours in the room, and that's going to be around the average, anywhere from 1 to 2 hours, this depending on what the market was showing. And funny enough, remember what I said, this trade here, we were aiming from 41.155 and then 41.22 as being resistance zones, and then 41.25 would be a major resistance zone. And look where this pivot got to. It just immediately started selling off right as it approached the major resistance zone and was fighting within the resistance zones we were looking at as this trade was being formed. And what a great trade this would have been, because we would have definitely looked to possibly have gone short there, if we were still trading at the time. But the point is, please join the room, as we are free for these 2 weeks. I feel like they're a good value. Whether you want to take the trades with me or not, that's totally irrelevant. But I think just for you to see how I'm scalping, I hope you will find value in that. I think you will find value in that, whether it's something you think will work, something you think it won't work, right? Because I want you to be able to make a decision if you're going to buy the service, to know what you're buying. I don't want you buying something you don't understand. If you think this is going to fail, like you think the scalping technique is not good, then you now know, and you won't pay for the service. But if you think it's good, you'll have a good understanding of how I'm trading once the service goes behind a price wall. So stop by the room. You could talk to me, you could talk to other members like I mentioned, and hang out for an hour or so. And oftentimes I'm talking about a whole bunch of other stuff, because I never stop talking, as you might have realized. And you'll get a lot of nuggets of how I look at the charts, and that can really transition well to what I'm really good at, in my opinion, is swing trading, right? So I'm a pretty decent scalper in my opinion, I dare say. So I make money, but swing trading is my major forte. So you'll get a lot of my philosophies in regards to trading markets that transition well to swing trading, and a lot of that you have to pay for in my tutoring. So this is a chance for you to get some nuggets out of me for free. So I'm more than happy for you to do that. Just stop on by every day for the next 2 weeks, every weekday, I should say, 5 days a week, 9 a.m. Eastern Time to 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Okay? Yeah, that's everything. So, everyone, remember, be patient, be vigilant, and be nimble. I love you guys. Take care. Bye.